Okay, as you guys probably figured out, all day long I've been doing a lot of reading. This is why I'm able to do another video. So look, however you pronounce the name, I believe it's Zurfi. Okay, I might be wrong, or Zurfi, whatever his name is, the appointed or the temporary PM has now gotten the green light. And what I mean by that is the factions actually voted him in. But before I get to that, real quick, look I was talking about this earlier, this thing with quantitative easing. It isn't just here in the United States. I told you that I felt like the central banks around the world were being suckered into or one or two things. Either it's really bad or it's really good. That the banks, all the central banks around the world, look at down here. It talks about this. Look at the Bank of England, the Bank of Japan, pumping trillions. So to do quantitative easing, Australia, New Zealand. Okay, there's definitely something going on right now with our current financial system. I really feel like these central banks have been pressured into spending their money to help at least slow down or whatever this crash is, or for at least to pin them with the most of the debt. Considering these bankers have been corrupt for decades and screwing us all over, so this might be whatever this plan is, might be to help make them carry much of the debt and then just stick it with them. Okay, I don't know if that's true or not. This is just my opinion. In Brazil, it's happening. I'll leave the link to this article, but you're going to be able to see that a lot of the G20 nations, their central banks are doing quantitative easing, which means they're buying up a lot of the debt. Okay, so either that's a good thing or it's a bad thing. It might be a bad thing if these guys end up buying a lot of debt. And what I mean by that is they buy the housing debts, the mortgages, and the student loans and whatever other debt that's out there. They end up buying it all, and then you end up owing them. That could be a really bad thing. But what I think is really happening is, I can't speak for other leaders in the nation, but in Trump's case, I think he's purposely doing this. Now, in case you haven't heard, the Treasury and our Federal Reserve have now merged. Congratulations. The chairman of the board is now Donald Trump. So we're going to find out real soon if this guy is the boogeyman or if he is God sent, okay? So the Cheeto Bambino, look, let's hope that he's the real deal Holyfield, because there's a lot of things happening around the globe that seem to be pointing to whatever this is. It's coming to a head sometime in April, halfway through April, end of April. We're going to see clearly what the heck is really going on with these economies around the world, whether it's a Nasera or just Sarah or global currency reset, or we all just got fooled really bad. Okay, we're going to find out. All right, because it seems to be coming to a head. All right, so and another thing is Trump keeps talking about how he wants his coronavirus thing done by Easter time. If you listen to Q and all you Q followers, where we go one, we go all. Q said as plain as day, the cure will be out worldwide by April. If that's the case, this is bad news for the so-called deep state who planned on using this whole corona fiasco as a campaign issue against Trump. If at what he said is true and that we'll be through with this by April, it's just going to make him look that much more better come re-election time. Okay, but anyways, I'll leave the link to this. You guys can see that there's central banks everywhere are doing quantitative easing, and they're doing it by the trillions. Okay, that's unbelievable. Okay, anyways, real quick reminder, if you didn't know this already, I'm sure many of you do, Pimpy's Investment Chat, which is the same name as my YouTube channel. There is a Facebook group, and in here, there's tons of people that are talking about the Iraqi dinar, Vietnam dong, the Zim talks in there, gold, silver, cryptocurrencies, as well as other investment opportunities. I encourage you to just come in, take a look, take part. If you have questions, feel free to ask. There are a lot of knowledgeable people. People keep asking me about these 800 numbers. I guess you're being told by other so-called gurus that you're going to need to call these 800 numbers. I've spoken to my bank about what we need to do during the exchange, and never once did they bring up 800 numbers. As a matter of fact, I don't trust anything about these 800 numbers that's being told out there. There's no validity to it whatsoever, okay? So anyways, having said that, let's kind of go on to what's going on in the news. All right, so look, Herbal has set working days for the private banks and banking offices. So 2 days out of the week, the bank is going to be open to the public, but only for a short period of time. Okay, so you could go in at 8 in the morning. It is open till 1 in the afternoon. So it's a short period of time that gives people an opportunity to go do what they need to do in the banking sector. Okay, so what they're trying to do is, like everybody else, they're dealing with the coronavirus. All right, that's what we're being told. Okay, so I just thought I would share that. It looks like they're trying to get some normacy happening there, just like we are everywhere else. Okay, so this is an interesting article because this here says that Iraq has 70 billion in reserves to keep the economy afloat for 6 months to a year, which is the opposite of what we were told. We were told that they're not going to be able to survive, and they've been applying for loans to help them get through this economical hardship, which is kind of interesting that this article says the opposite. As a matter of fact, World Bank said no more loans for you guys. This could be why. If you remember, not that long ago, we saw an article that said that the reserves were well above the standard or the requirements for a bank to have as far as the foreign reserves are concerned. So much so that these guys are able to survive for 6 months to a year. Okay, so this article goes on to talk about it. As usual, I will leave a link to all these articles so you can come in here and read this. Now, in here, it is talking about the fact that the oil war that's going on is affecting their economies as well as the other oil nations. Okay, it blows my mind that these oil-rich nations struggle at all. I just don't get it. So, but in Iraq's case, I understand it. 90% or 95% of their economy comes from oil sales. This is why that's got to change. If Iraq ever is going to have an opportunity to be the richest nation in the world, they have to get away from just relying on oil. Okay. Now, I haven't said that. There's a couple of interesting articles. Look at finally. So yep, I'm going to struggle with this. I don't know why. As soon as I get on the video, I have a hard time saying it. The sheet. Oh shit, I don't know. But anyways, the fashions, the different block fashions. You have the Muslims versus the Shiites. Okay, so anyways, as soon as I get off the air, I'll be able to say the word no damn problem. There's other words that whenever I'm doing a video, for whatever reason, I struggle with them. But as soon as I get off the air, I can say them with no problems. But anyways, here's the deal. So the fashions have finally got together, and they thought there was going to be some resentment for the deputy nominated Zurfi, which the president had appointed as the temporary PM, but his name, he is now a candidate, and all the voting blocks had recommended him. Yay, finally they agreed on something, okay? So on March 16th, the president, that's back then, Salih had appointed him as the temporary PM, but now he's been approved by all the different parliamentary blocks. So thank goodness we are heading, that's a step in the right direction. Look, he added that the 7-party committee formed by the forces has nothing to do with the nominations. Okay, well, that's funny because they just all nominated him and they pushed him through. His name is now officially been recommended. Now, if you come down here, the PM himself has outlined the priorities of his government. What it is that they are going to do is outlined their curriculum. Okay, so during the meeting in Baghdad with ambassador from Europe, Union countries on Saturday, Iraq Prime Minister designate Zurfi outlined the proposal agenda for his government. Should it be seated, including his priorities are holding early elections, prevent the country's economy from failing, and mitigating the damages done by the coronavirus, reducing poverty, and imposing rule of law. Reducing poverty. I know you're thinking the same thing I am. As soon as you see that, we know a way that you could reduce your poverty. How about giving your people more purchasing power? Let's hope that's what's in the works here. Anyways, it goes on to lay out a little bit more. So when I leave the link for this article up here, just scroll down a little bit further and you can see this article here. Okay, I just wanted to just kind of go over and let you know that, okay, his name has been submitted as a candidate. It's been approved. And now he has outlined what his government's going to do. That's his government's or his agenda. Okay. Anyways, skip past that. Now, this is really interesting as well, and this kind of feeds into the whole there's something definitely going on in April as well as May. Okay, so yes, we already heard and all hell broke loose when I discovered that for some reason the ISX had said it was open. So obviously there's no real action on there. I don't know why it became a big deal, but nonetheless, as we heard, nothing is going to happen with the ISX until the middle of April. Sometimes there's people sending me a crap load of different emails saying that, but this is what is interesting. So on Friday, legal experts said that the period in change of forming a government is stipulated in the Constitution and cannot be tampered with, noting that according to the principles of necessity permits records, the federal court can extend the period of government formation according to the current circumstances that Iraq is going through. Or obviously with the whole coronavirus and everything, look, they're supposed to form their government within 30 days. It hasn't happened. All right. So even though he is the PM elect at the time, he still needs to form his cabinet members, all right? This is all supposed to be done within 30 days. This has been extended. If you think about the 30 days, this puts him somewhere from about sometime towards the end of April. Look, again, we've been saying that something's going to happen somewhere in April, somewhere halfway through April, somewhere towards the end of April. Some people are even saying May. Yes, I do notice it keeps changing. I thought for sure something would have been done by now in March. But we know there's a lot of things definitely happen in April. We know the new currency laws take effect in April 6th. We know that. Trump said to expect something really big around Easter time. Okay, so April seems to be a big month for a lot of people everywhere. And so not only that, I saw that Japan was talking about, starting to open up to the public as well as in the middle of April. South Korea said something about towards the end of April. In Britain said, sometime towards the middle or end of April, this whole self quarantine should be done. Okay, so that's interesting that all these things seem to be lining up. Something is definitely going on. Quantitative easing going everywhere. Iraq trying to get their government established and done and put into place by April. Okay, let's hope that happens. Okay, we know Trump saying that everything should be done and we should be fine sometime in April. All right, these checks coming from these stimulus package comes out to us sometime in April. All right. So whatever's happening, it seems to be coming to a head sometime in the middle of April. Let's keep our fingers crossed that this is the currency exchange or the global currency reset that we are hoping for, because whatever's happening, it isn't just happening to one or two nations. It's happening all over the world. Okay. So anyways, I just thought I would share a couple of these articles. I was happy to see that finally these guys are agreeing to the PM as the nominee. He's already put in his agenda for his cabinet. Let's get them in there. Let's get them seated. Let's get them elected, and let's get past all this BS and this start down the road of reconstruction and healing. Okay. And that this, they're making exceptions to the Constitution to allow extra time for this cabinet to be formed. So anyways, as I continue to read, there is a little bit of news slowly coming out of Iraq. As you guys know, their weekend, I believe, is Thursday and Friday. So they are there Saturday and Sunday. Things are rocking and rolling. This is why you're starting to see a lot more news. So I just wanted to share this with you. I still think this is an interesting article. All this quantitative easing coming from all these different banks around the world, that there's something there. I can't put my finger on it, but it's definitely interesting to keep an eye on. All right, let me know what you think about this quantitative easing, what you think it is, because I know what it is. Okay, don't get me wrong, but I'm saying it's one thing to have a government doing it, but this is a worldwide thing. I think what's happening is the central banks got suckered into buying a lot of the debt up that they helped create. And I think they're going to get sandbagged with it. If you agree with me, hit thumbs up, leave a comment, and let me know what you think about that idea. All right, talk to you later. Bye.